we'd need a serious turn of form to even perform in this division. We're already 3 points off. What everyone wants is a reaction, and if we get a reaction, the only positive reaction you could say as fans is that we'd get rid of Paul Hurst.
And the change has been made. Paul Hurst has been sacked.
Paul Lambert is the new Ipswich Town manager. Some bad ones, but we just got walked over today at Millwall, so full credit to Millwall for absolutely tanking us, because we deserved it.
Welcome back, guys, and it's been a very busy week in the Ipswich Town camp. Obviously we've lost manager Paul Hurst, and we've brought in new manager Paul Lambert. It's like, who's the next Paul? But to be honest, things are looking on the up. Obviously we haven't seen any gameplay except from obviously Millwall on Saturday, which wasn't a terribly good game at all. We got outplayed by Millwall, and they deserved the win, to be fair. And it's Town. As fans, we couldn't have done any more to be behind the boys, even though there's a few arguments in and around the fans. I think given the situation we're at the moment, can we blame each other? I think it's just for an example going forward is just get behind the boys and get behind the football. It doesn't matter what we're seeing. We are bottom of the league. We can't get any lower, but we can go forward and we can go up. And given the right manager and the right ethos, we could go to better places. Now, obviously, Paul Lambert's come in and had his press conference, his first press conference yesterday. Was it yesterday, Tuesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. So, and he outlined that there's a few things that do worry him. He didn't specifically say that, but what he did say is that he wants it to make it like a fun place for the players to play and have a good atmosphere around the club. And yeah, that's what you need as a player. And from some of the stories I've heard, I mean, they're just stories. I'm not going to repeat them on here, but it didn't sound like Paul Hurst and Chris Doig had the foggiest idea what they were doing at Ipswich Town. And to be honest, it sounds to me that as though Marcus Evans left them to their own devices this season, left them to do all the work. So whether or not that is rectified now, whether Marcus is coming back into the picture and Paul's using his support to push the club forward, is to remain to be seen. So let's look at what we have got now. So we've got a group of individuals, a group of players that you'd argue have got talent, that can deliver on the stage. We've seen some of those players deliver time and time again. Can they come together and gel and get us out of this hole that we're in at the moment? That is the question, to be honest. And we don't know. We don't know going into Saturday what kind of team's going to be put out, what kind of players we're going to see. Are we going to see an Ipswich side that we haven't seen this season? Because a lot of performance do come from the manager and the assistants and the coaching and the background. It's all, as a player, you need to be in the right place to go onto that pitch and win a game of football. It's easier said than done. So as fans, we've got to understand that. Now, come Saturday, I'm sure everyone will be fully behind the team and trying to get the result. But obviously, Paul I keep trying to say Paul Hurst, but Paul Lambert goes up against his predecessor from Norwich, Alex Neil, in Ipswich versus Preston at home. Now, Town Preston is obviously a massive game. Every game's massive from now on, and Preston are down there, albeit they've been unbeaten the whole of October. I think it's 3 draws and 2 wins, and let's just say they've been scoring goals for fun. Now, they've got some decent players. They've got Callum Robinson, they've got Gallagher, they've got a number of decent players. but can we stop them scoring goals? I don't think we can this weekend. So what's our outlet going to be? Are we going to be on the attack? I know Paul Lambert loves to attack be on the front foot. That's what we're going to see. That's different from Ipswich sides of late, and that'll be a welcome change, because that's what Ipswich fans want to see. We want to see attacking football. We want to see our boys score goals for once. We've only scored 11 goals this season, which is terrible by any outlet. We have got to start scoring goals, and that's probably where our problems start and finish, to be honest, because one, we're not making the chances, and two, we're not scoring any. So all in all, if we start scoring goals, I can't see us struggling to get results, because I do feel although we have lost, we haven't been that easy to turn over, and it's only against Millwall on Saturday that I've seen us actually really get battered by a side. I don't think we had any play in that game to really talk about, and I think a lot of fans will come back from that game and say exactly the same thing. So Saturday, to be honest, is a massive test. Obviously it's Paul Lambert's first game. We can't expect miracles straight away, but changing obviously the way that the players come in, how they look at training, how they feel around the club, bring a bit of that spirit back, then maybe we can hope for some kind of result. But the results need to come quicker, and if we do get those results, will that turn our attention away from January? Now that's another thing in itself. In January there's the supposed 10 million war chest that's been reported. Many people have said that to me. If I believed for a second that we had 10 million on the table to use, then I'd stick with it, but I don't. In another sense, as Marcus Evans finally turned a new leaf, and he's now going to throw money at it to get Ipswich where they need to be. For me, I'd struggle to believe that, because it's been a decade now since he bought the club. Can we really start believing that he's going to give us extra money to buy players? I don't really understand where that come from in the first place. I can understand that Paul Lambert would not have been easily persuaded to come to Ipswich, given the fact that we are bottom of the league. We look like a sinking ship from the outside, but to be honest, a lot of that has come from maybe the managerial regime that was in charge at the start of the season up until now. So those things can be changed. As for Paul Lambert as a manager, he's coming to Ipswich Town. He's made it very clear his past with Norwich City is well in the past now. We know there's some kind of dispute between him and Norwich City that I think still remains unsorted. So I think he just wants he's made it clear, he just wants everyone to know he's Ipswich Town manager now, and that's the only club that matters to him. So yeah, if the press could stop asking about Norwich City and actually talk about the biggest club in Anglia, that would be a start. So hopeful for this weekend. Got me ticket. Can we get a result there? Questionable, but are we looking for a result straight away? I think the best thing we need to do is look at stopping Preston from scoring goals, and take a positive draw out of the game. We don't want another loss. We say this all the time, but it only heaps on more pressure to the playing squad, and that's not what we need. So I will get my chance to potentially meet and ask Paul Lambert a question tomorrow at the supporters AGM and the meet and greet events. I haven't been allowed access by the club to actually film any footage, so unfortunately the only way I can let you guys know about that is through voice. So I'll let you know what you do miss out on if you've not been to the event, and maybe you might be interested to go in the future. Now that's only available to season ticket holders and silver card memberships. So if you have got one and you are watching this video, why don't you go and go along tomorrow, and you get to see the new manager and actually ask a few questions and see what he's got to say, because you know, it's early days for him. We're not expecting massive things to change straight away, but from what I've heard so far, I'm liking the idea that Paul Lambert is now Ipswich Town manager. So let's hope for a decent result on Saturday, and until then, come on you Blues.